All right, good morning, everyone. The gamma levels should have been updated now. Where's the flip out? Let's see. Got a Billy of Delta. Open was where? Ooh. Let's let these things go around because we had quite the move overnight. I'm sure there's a lot of inventory exchanging hands. We're still above the prior day low from Friday. We'll see. As long as that holds for now, we'll kind of see where things kind of land within the first hour of open. I mean, we know we have a put wall at the 450s or 350s, sorry. There might not be a bid. I'm gonna wait for the first hour and see what happens, but overall, I need to see the 30s hold after the first hour of trade. So that'd be like in the next 30 minutes by the time the IB is set. Otherwise, I'll likely just wait for a test. Hey, what's up, Jose? Welcome back. A test of the put wall, which is at 350, give or take a few points. We're along. But it seems like they were trying to hold prior day low. They're putting in a lot of effort trying to hold the prior day low from Friday. But there's not much reward so far. There's some hit the wire there for sure. Look at that. What time is it? 43? Yeah. Someone they keep absorbing right there at the yesterday's value or low at the 430s. Every time they pop in there, they just passively get absorbed. We'll kind of note that down for later in the session if they still continue to passively participate there. Or if they get over, it could be a squeeze area. There's a lot of passive sellers there. What's it called? The open drive? Yeah. So there you go. They took out the priority low at 420 and then they rebid again. So I like the bids there. If they hold that into the next 15 minutes or so, probes below it might be good. I just don't like being long so far away from the VWAP, which is at 410. But that might be what we need to do. The internals are kind of mixed around. I'm gonna be extra patient just given the overnight range was pretty wide. Overall, my general lean is above 30s, 430s, or 35, 435. It's a long, right? Below that, it's kind of mixed. Kind of have, if you get acceptance below 410, it's pretty bearish. But so far it's being supported. Again, at parity low. It's coming back into that squeeze spot. Ugh. And the sellers again passively hitting right there at 430. Looks like they did an opening test drive, so they came in and perfectly tested the parity low and then held. See if we can get a bid somewhere around here then. Right now. Put a bid here around the 20s. It'll be just a sample test for now. But somewhere around here might be a good area to bid. If they can get a pullback. They got above that squeeze level, like I said earlier. They were selling here. Came back and took them out. Now they're about 10 points above them. So we'll see. That looks like those sellers got out of the way or got squeezed out. They'll put a bid at there, 422. Yeah, this thing ran away from me for sure. We'll revisit that trade later, vape dips. But pretty good rip there. Pretty strong rotation up. Continues. We'll see after the IB sets. I mean, we still have about 40 minutes. It's a pretty strong rotation up. Those sellers got whipped out right here. Like I said earlier, they were passively trying to absorb and they got squeezed out. Look at that, 20 points from there. They were here right at the open. Yeah, Boeing went red to green. A lot of the internals are flipping green. So you got chips went green, Mag 7 went green. And you just got value. Is the overnight high about to get taken out? Dang, they're aggressive. Huh. They ripped some assholes this morning here on this div, dude. Whoever was short. Jeez. Let's see if we can get a bid. Somewhere here. I need to see at least the 30s. Right, 30, 35. Hey. Worth a shot against the IB. IB low. $35. Here they go, 37. See what they do here. Three. Put a bid here at 35. What I'll do is buy limit here at 35. Oops. 135. Okay, so I got fill 35. This is not the best fill. I'm gonna add more if there's an average down, but we'll see. I'm gonna put my stop right there at the IB low. It's not even IB's not even set yet, but I do want to see if I can get another add to this at the 30, exactly around the 30s, which I'll put another bid there. Buy limit bid at 30, somewhere around here, where those sellers were. Oh, not 3. Am I putting a bid? Oh, 2. Okay, so I bought 3 and I'll add 2 more. See if this holds. They're hitting that where the sellers were, right from above. I might be too aggressive with the extra ad, but that's fine. Okay, got the extra one added there. I would just cluster all the cells together. Yeah, fucking put them all together. Oh, where's my dumb at? Annoying. Oh, my stop's up here. Hey, where's my oh, man. There we go. Okay. There you go. All right, we'll see if they hold this. Clustered into it a little bit. Now we have 2. I don't like the risk that I have on, to be honest. It's too much risk, but it's a decent area to be long if they can hold it. They'll probably get a little snap back to 45 and then see if they can continue. Oop, big sell. Time is it? 7:05. No, sellers are still tackling it on here. And a big... There's a lot of volatility here. The tape is just shaking back and forth here. That's crazy. But wherever this goes, big move, I would assume. A lot of participants are actively hitting the bid and ask here. Just from what the tape is being so volatile within one level. So either I'm on the wrong side or I'm on the right side. We'll see. At this point, it looks pretty binary, to be honest. Not the best thing for me, but we will see. The internals are somewhat green. The sectors are not the best, to be honest, for the setup. I'd want to see more green on the sectors individually. So I'm not the happiest about the long, but we're above the 35s. So I like internals alignment bullish. All the internals went green. Okay. All right. 442. See if I can get a fill at 442. It's going way past I'm sorry. It's hitting the value area high for the session. It's kind of rejecting right now. We'll see if there's enough momentum to keep going. Oh, there goes a fill. Okay, and then I do want to see if I can separate these lots, but I can't. Let's see, maybe change this. Let's see, cancel and then use. There we go. Okay, so I want to fill one. Oh, not 4-1. That would have sucked. Right here at 5, and then we'll hold one more. And then my stop will be right there below the IB. IBL. Okay. Cool. There it is. So for now, that's the trade for now. The optimal entry of today was that opening drive. Where's my drawing tool? So the optimal entry today was that opening drive test, failed, move down. I don't see my drive too. And I missed it. I was too slow on it. I want to be a little more patient with my entries today, given the large move overnight. I wasn't sure who was going to control the auction. Can I draw? I would say for now, as long as we hold 30s, the bulls control the auction. But this is the opening drive test. We tested the priority low, and then we immediately reclaimed back above and held. So this is the criteria here. It's called an opening drive test. Price opens, quickly test a prior key level. Open overnight low, overnight high, prior day low. In this case, we tested the prior day low. Sweeps get two sweep stops, so right below the prior day low. Gets sharply rejected, then drives hard the other way. So that was pretty much the open for today, and so I annotated that here. So this was my prep sheet for this morning, right? The inventory was net short based on my right here. Oh, yeah, inventory net short. Prior day context was balanced. I mislabeled that. Should have been balanced. I would say trend down just because it's sold. It closed near the end of the day. Open drive test so far, based on the open, we're above the flip, and the key levels and whatever. This is just how I'm feeling. So the structural bias was a medium confidence net long today. So along with, you can see all the stats and stuff. All that information is always here on my chart. You can see above flip, net long, or net short inventory, medium confidence. We'll see if that ends up playing out. I mean, we're not out of the woods at all. We're still, stuck within Friday's range. So we'll see. I'm targeting the point of control area from Friday, which is this area right around here. You see the red highlighter line. I'm not sure if it's very visible on the screen, but the point of controls are on this area. It's like a yellow, very faint line. And we're holding value. So the value that I wanted to see, that line in the sand, was holding above this area. So far we have. Value has been developing above it, so it doesn't mean it's bullish, just means rotational behavior so far. Like neutral, so to speak. And then it gets bullish if it can hold above Friday's value or high, which is the 50s. Like 59, 60. Where we put a couple failed breakouts on Friday. Right here. This is more of a bullish scenario, and then anything in here is just neutral, so to speak. At least for me, you know. Time is at 7:11. All line. We hold below VWAP. Not going to be the best scenario. Probably break down, which is again near the line of the sand. For now, for the intraday session, as I see it, is like holding above VWAP's neutral to bullish. Below that, we probably break down to the overnight low. Sellers are pretty active today. Totally different tape than we've had last week. Actually, a few weeks. Where there's actually activity on the sell side. take it here, 48. Pretty much the same scales as Friday. So yes, Friday I took a similar long area. And I scaled, I think, at 4.6. I forgot the other price. I can go back, I guess, but Friday was pretty similar price action in terms of where I got long. I think I got long 30. Yeah, the 30, yeah. I got long 430 on Friday, the same price area as we are now. I think I scaled around the same spots. It's a pretty similar area as Friday. Let me see. Yes. Let's see. Show. Doesn't show the fills here. Maybe on this chart. It's probably on the other account. Yeah, right there. Pretty similar fills, like here long and scaled right into 53. Pretty similar spots as right now. Alright, dude. Just give me the fill already. They're absorbing or just rejecting that resistance area from Friday at 45, so I'm not a fan. I'll take it. Ugh. It's another rejection. Lower high after that pop. Not very pretty action for bulls so far on the reverse. Alright, we'll scale more at 4.2 and then just get down to 1. Alright, we'll keep down to 1, a runner, so to speak, and that's it. If they somehow, if they end up testing this level again, put in a failed breakdown of the IB low, I'll be interested to get another entry long. So what they would do is essentially stop out, take out the IB low for the session, but hold above the VWAP, this area, the VWAP, and I'll get long after that for another rebid. Even if it trails me out of the stop or the runner, I'll re-enter. And then the next, if this wants to go continuation, then I'll probably just wait till we consolidate above here. If we put in a consolidation right below the priority high from Friday, somewhere like this, then it's willing to add there on a breakout scenario to test this area. Let's see. So we'll see what the rest of the day kind of plays out, and I'm willing to add here or on another failed move below the VWAP. But for now, I scaled out a little early. Probably a mistake on my end, but it is what it is. All right. Let me just chill, wait, relax. Want to control shift it up right now. It's now at 43. So I had the breakdown set up here for the plan until Sunday. I didn't take it since I was not at my desk, but we had that nice breakdown overnight, which is explained here. And if you look at the illustration with whatever happened that session, we certainly did exactly that. We kind of traded below this little red standard deviation. You can see it here too, right here. It was just right around there. Did it below and broke down, tested that area, the 370s where I put the target at. 370s. Here was my lean too. So I pretty much said today's what the lean was, pretty much holding this area into today. That's why I was long biased at this area that I was, just more or less because of the way we're holding value. It was still kind of early in the day, so who knows how the rest of the session plays out. As long as the value distributes above this 3-day balance, right? More or less here, above here, then it's just a retest of this balance area and it continues its higher low. If it starts to accept below this, then it's going to come test this area here, which it did do that. Actually, it did it just did it overnight, right? It did test this value low. Right, this is where we bounce from overnight. 370. $370 right here. Okay. All right, well, I'll be back in a few. I take my son to school. We'll be in like 15 minutes. All right. They trailed me out. Okay. They're holding back above the priority low right now. Let's see. Dips are down pretty extensively. Hour close in 40 minutes. I'm gonna give it some time. Seems pretty weak. Let's see how they do. I'm gonna give it some time. I do like the long, like I said earlier, even if I got trailed out, adding to the long here. I do need to figure out lost basis here would be what, 22? 2, stop would be 7.3. What's the low here? 305. 3. Damn. Bad risk. I'm not gonna take it yet. I'm gonna give it some time to digest. It's going back below VWAP, so yeah, structurally it looks okay. It doesn't look very pretty. Or a long continuation so far. We might hit that put wall. Maybe that's why they have that put wall 350s today. We'll see. We will see. Waiting to see how the value distributes here. We're kind of teetering between the line and the sand I discussed earlier. Right here. We're just kind of teetering right at it, so I'll give it some time to show where the volume is going to be filled and who's going to take control here on this dip. $416 is support here on the S&P. 416, you got another failed breakdown of the IB trigger. So those blue candles are pretty much telling me that they're putting in a failed breakdown of the IB low. That's why they're highlighted blue, like a color indicator that I have. But we'll see. I gotta give it some time because right now what's happening is we're having a reactional bounce below the priority low right here, and it's kind of fading out, which is not indicative of strength, right? You want to see it kind of continuously hold above the priority low. So it's kind of teetering both ways. I can kind of see both scenarios playing out here, whether down lower or up higher. So I just have to be a little patient to see what they decide to do. You got Mag 7 chips, pretty much all sectors red right now. but the internals are relatively green for the most part. So that explains the confusion. Ugh. Alright. Let's hold an IB failed breakdown so far. I'm gonna give it until the next hour. Top of the hour, see how it holds. Ugh. EU will cut outgrowth. Raise inflation forecast as Iran war drives stagflationary shock. All right. Those were the sellers were at right there from this morning. Same spot right there at 30s from this morning. It's labeled on the DOM there. What's with you? Seem to be still there. They just moved down a little lower. I got about a few minutes before that 15 the 2-hour prints completely at the top of the hour, let's just say. I'm open for a short or a long here, just kind of waiting it out, see what they decide to do. The reason I'm open to the short is we're not holding value below the area that I like to see for bears to have control, but we are kind of red here on all the internals sectors. And then the other thing is those sellers right here. Can you see it on my chart? Let me see. Oh, you can't see the drawing on the DOM. Anyway, they're holding below this, where those sellers are above here at the 30s. We're just teetering above VWAP right now, so kind of a choppy area. We'll kind of wait for a structural shift. I'm sure they'll end up getting a impulse move. got the top of the hour about to close in a few secs here, and it's holding above VWAP at this point, and the PDL. I'll put a bid here at 22, and then put the stop right there. 22s. Hey Rick, sell Friday, or do you look for buys or sells today? I bought twice. I'm sorry, once. I bought one bid this morning, one trade. So I was long here at the 30s, and then I sold it into the 40s. I got trailed out on the runner, on this run of the IBL. So I was long earlier. They held the they're holding the priority low still. Kind of watching that area, seeing if they are going to continue to hold it. I put a bid at 22, but probably too far out. They might not fill me. I'll kind of wait it out. There's another rejection right at the sell area. Okay, I like the sell there. Those sellers are still there. We'll see. You saw those sellers hit right where that zone is on the DOM. Let's see if they hold them. There's some news probably that has to do with this move, but if you guys saw, it was quick. Came into that area and immediately rejected. Okay, so there you go. The momentum's kind of kicked in favor. Those sellers came in quick. They just snapped it back out of nowhere. You had to kind of react quickly. I mean, not quickly because I got filled at 420. I just wasn't able to get filled near the seller where the sellers were. Right at the 30s. I had to sell 10 points lower. So there you go, Mohammed. I had to switch it up from being long bias to short on a snap quickly because of that reaction. Right off the open, we saw, or I spotted these sellers there, and I annotated this area early into the open. Hopefully a bit higher. Didn't sweep the book enough for me. Alright, well, maybe. Yeah, it's possible. It's kind of messy. We're just trading up and down past VWAP, so who knows? Overall, we're holding below priority low and right into that line in the sand that I mentioned earlier. Right. It's a very big zone. Acceptance below this, then we can definitely come down. That 410, 409 area is sticky. They keep bouncing it there. Violet has been migrating low. Yeah, it is. I mean, overall, like the value migration is not enough to call it a downtrend. Just more of a pullback to see where higher time frame players are. All right, I'm gonna take it here. Stalling out at 410. Take some off. Just to reduce the risk and then hold if it breaks down. I wanted to see more of an impulse move by now, but it did not. Just stalling. Another failed breakdown of the IB. These guys are relentless. They might just bid it up again. What is that? They're trying to reclaim 16s, 4 16s, but doesn't seem very good. So the next scale area for me is right at the top end of this HVN right here. Right above it. As we're approaching this area, below the line in the sand. Another pop there. Another bid right there came in. Or short covering, I really don't know. But reaction will move for sure. U.S. senior official rejects Iran's most recent proposal. More of this Iran stuff. Boom. Well, now it's just a matter of letting this thing play out. Remove the order fills on this one. There you go. Cleaner now. I see the NQ chart. It's just teetering a little bit above the overnight low. Hate this chop on NQ. Yeah, I'm looking at it. The Dow seems to have been the leader today. It led on the open. It broke above overnight high, and now it failed to hold the overnight high. It's kind of fading lower. Put a poll up. Will ES tests for 7398? Let's see what you guys think. Our first vote. The extreme at 386. All right, Matt. Yeah, I agree. I had a second scale around 8.7 or so before I scaled out the bigger size of the position, so. Another bid. Really hard to be short for a long period of time because they do this a lot. Where like it comes down and it's like in a very series of stair steps. I'll put an eye on ES and Q, SI, GC, R2IS to manage my position. Okay, well, cool. We got an oil trader. Okay, well, nice. I scaled some there at 4-1. I have one lot, and now I don't know how probable this is to take out to go down to the put wall. I don't really have high conviction, so I might manage this one a little tighter. Wrong one, bro. Normally I trade and I chase oil. I chose oil, sorry. because it was easier to trade. Okay, cool. I don't really look at any other index. I have an eye on YM and Nasdaq, but I don't look at any other asset. I have like a small frame chart. I just look at where price is on the Nasdaq and the SM and the YM in respects to the overnight high or low. And then I have the sectors that make up the S&P, you know, as a breadth indicator, so to speak, that you see above here on my chart on the top. Up here somewhere. Waiting to see when the NQ is going to break the overnight low, because it seems that's where it's headed. Where do you... Oh man, I haven't, to be honest, I don't think that far ahead. No idea. I can't answer that, to be honest. I just go from structure to structure from the last 3-4 days, and then I kind of use that as my assessment for the next session. That's pretty much it. I don't go weeks out. But if you do, I'm open to hearing it. I probably won't use the information, but I'm open to hearing it. Yeah, too many variables, 100% too many variables. You got geopolitical issues that can change stuff on a dime. You got AI fear narratives that can change on a dime, or euphoria. I mean, just what, 2 months ago, we were selling off on Claude Code fears of like some Citrini Substack post, and it was creating a bunch of fear in like a bunch of software stocks, and even Visa and MasterCard. And that was just like a hypothetical future Substack post. That's insane to think about. The market was reacting based on that. The market was very jittery. So, I don't know, you know, I don't think someone I never would have fathomed that the market would move off a Substack post. I got that question I have is gonna have to be removed because we're a few points from it now. Oh, there's the overnight low breaking down on the NQ. Or it's about to. Missed the sell, wanted it higher, too greedy. Well, that's the thing, like earlier I wanted the long, but I wanted it at like 30, right? And price was trading at 35. So I added 3 lots and then I put a limit order for another 2 at 29, and then I got filled on the 29, so then I was fine with that. So sometimes I just ease into it, even if it means overpaying, just to kind of have some positioning in the event that I don't get the level or fill that I want. So, I mean, the short overall, it was very clear. That tape was very clear. Those sellers meant business right as soon as it hit that 35 area. And I annotated that zone early on into the session that there were some passive sellers there. So, and I was looking for a long. And so as soon as I saw them hit the tape, I just flipped. Definitely going to be an a tape to kind of review, to kind of see what happened, you know, to see how the reaction was at the tape, because it was very clear. It was like the most obvious sell side rejection. It seems too obvious. You know, sometimes it is too obvious. I'm not gonna knock that. It is sometimes too obvious, and they do end up sweeping it higher. Like what you're saying is like, let me so like they'll sweep, and then they'll do one more run of the high, and then they'll bring it down. I don't disagree with that. They do that. Yeah, I know what you're saying, and that does happen a lot. So I can understand why the entry was like, I'll wait for the second test, because that is not that is very common. So they hit the reclaim level to the tick here, right there, and they just bounced it, which is a 393. Let's see. Yeah, we'll see. If they hold above 420, 410s, even like 4, I would say 416 is a line in the sand. If they get above the VWAP, 416, they probably squeeze. Other than that, I'll hold the short until that happens. But here's the 416's been kind of a pivot this morning. So if it gets above 416, it can likely come back in. But for now, this could be just a back test to sell back down. They're holding. Hey man, they might come back. Bulls have definitely shown that they can have some pretty strong reversals into the midday. We'll see if that ends up happening into the second part of the day. We'll see. We will see. Because this could just be a bounce to add more than 2 for a trend continuation down, or it could be a failed breakdown. Structurally, I think yes will trade 7,300. That's where the gamma flip is. Next few days. Today is 392 at the bottom. Oh, it could be. Ugh. We could just be forming a new range, and this might be somewhere around that vicinity. Who knows? But right now, that low that was made at that 392, it's pretty firm. Yeah. Fuck. Fucking boring. Well, I don't know. I have a short open, I have a runner, and I have it more or less where that put wall is. So we'll see if it hits the put wall or not. The target for the bear thesis that I gave, and this could be over the course of the next few days. It doesn't happen today. Is right here, right? But more or less this area, right? This is where I have my take profit at. Last one. So they could bounce it maybe another couple times, and maybe we close it. Maybe we end the day right here, right where this is. We might just chop the rest of the day. Who knows? But overall, my target is right here for the final runner. So looks like they did a retest and then a failed, right? So they bounced, retest, and so far it looks like a rejection. We'll see. Again, the line in the sand for me, like I said, was the 16 area. That's why I'm holding the short still. As long as they don't reclaim and hold here, accept. Yeah, that 7303 is a point of control. It's also one of the standard deviation bands from January. So 7300 definitely is a target if we hold below 7380s, 7360. Right, a target for another time. You know, we're not there yet, but holding below that more or less targets that zone. Right now we're still 50 points away from that inflection. This is why I like to hold a runner. I don't really have much stress over trying to figure out where the structure is going. I have a line in the sand more or less, but I don't really have to worry too much if it's going to hit the target or not. The final one, at least. I always have like two to three targets. Earlier I scaled out what I felt like was early, but it was actually the right decision. Right here on the long, right? All right, well, I'm gonna. Oh, you can add closed captioning. Oh, you can't. Never mind. All right, I'm gonna head out, guys. Just have this one trade stop loss right there. 23s. I'll adjust it as needed if we reclaim the VWAP, which is the 20s or the 16s. Thanks for everyone who tuned in. We'll be back tomorrow. See you, Matt, and anyone else? I think it's Mohammed. Mohammed, see you, brother.